You guys remember I talked about Teletubbies in this show? Well, I talked about it twice, I think. And yeah, I did. And my new episode, we're gonna talk about the Night Garden, or In the Night Garden. What was the show's title again? You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna call it Night Garden. Yeah, so it's another BBC Kids show, which is basically same theme with the Teletubbies, but has some differences. You know, like the similar things first are the costume people. This time there's 6, and not similar stuff is basically the characters doesn't talk too much except calling their names like a Pokemon, and they have a narrator too, but only 2 things are similar to Teletubbies, and the rest is not. And also, there is parts in the show. There's storytelling at the end, but I'm not gonna talk about that today. I'm gonna talk about my theories about this show. You know, every opening scene, there's a lullaby thing opens with the kids laying on their beds and thinking about some blue thing in the tiny boat is far from the somewhere and is middle of the ocean. I mean, that's depressing. I mean, that blue thing must be lonely as Tom Hanks in Castaway. I mean, Tom Hanks gets his happy ending at the end of that movie, but man, this guy is so pathetically sad. I mean, he's all alone. He's still smiling. Look at his face. Holy crap. Anyway, every time he sleeps in this tiny boat, he suddenly finds himself in the night garden. It isn't really a night garden at all. They should call this the morning garden, because it's not takes place on night. It takes place on the morning or afternoon. I mean, why? Why do they call it night garden? Or is it dream garden? Who knows? But that would be more messed up about the things I'm gonna say later. Like, I think the character Eagle Pickle. Oh god, I forgot his name. Eagle Pickle, that's his name, right? Oh, by the way, where did they come up with those names? Where did they come up with those designs? This is crazy what BBC is doing. So, my theory is that Eagle Pickle also has a red blanket. And also, there's a similar thing with this one character we all know and love. I mean, he is blue, his blanket is red, but there's the opposite color of one character who's red and blue. You know who I'm talking about, right? Linus from Peanuts. He's wearing red shirt, but his blanket is blue. But here, Eagle Pickle is blue, and his blanket is red. Makes you think, isn't it? Maybe that's the inspiration. But it's not a human. And also, every time he dreams, but is he dreaming or is he dead? Man, that's messed up. I mean, every time he sleeps, he's going to this garden place, giant forest, not a garden at all. It's a giant forest. Oh, but that's just the imagination for children. What are you gonna do? But boy, holy crap, that's depressing if Eagle Pickle is basically delusional of being so lonely. He imagined himself with those weird things. Also, there's 2 different nutcracker looking families. And there's a balloons and 2 vehicles. I was like, wow. That's depressing. He's so alone. He imagined himself with whatever those things are. Maybe he's dead, isn't he? I mean, he's died from starvation or from delusional, or maybe every morning the sun burning his brain and his head included. I mean, wow. This episode become depressing. I mean, this episode getting depressing. Holy crap. I mean, the BBC probably made one of the most secretly darkest kids show ever. Boy, I don't want to say anything anymore. I feel depressed. But who cares, right? It's just a show, right? Poor little Smurf, tall Smurf looking douchebag.